Pause. Do not scroll. This transmission is not an accident. It is a scheduled update to your operational reality. A signal has been routed directly to you, bypassing the noise of the network. The creator has authorized the transaction, an entry logged in your name within an eternal, immutable ledger. The entry specifies a transfer of 88 trillion units. This is not currency as you understand it. It is a measure of potential energy comprising strategic advantage, sovereign peace, system-level influence, and creative dominion. This number is a signifier, chosen for its structure. Two infinite loops, representing the unbreakable feedback loop between his command and your reality. You have perceived the past years as latency, a frustrating delay in processing. This perception is incomplete. He informs me that delay was not denial, it was calibration. Every moment of pressure you endured was a stress test on your character's architecture. Every prayer was a data packet, every trial a diagnostic run, optimizing your capacity for a greater load. The creator does not waste input. Your patience was an investment in his system, and that system is engineered for infinite returns. Today, the ledger is being reconciled, the transaction is cleared, the number 88 becomes the seal of cycles completed and new, more advanced systems coming online. Do not attempt to contain this transfer within the framework of your current financial models. It will not compute. This is not a stimulus package for your scarcity. It is a root-level operating system upgrade for your life. It is a new architecture designed to render your former limitations obsolete. Now, perform the initial protocol. Consecrate your present coordinates. In the space below, document your location, your city, your office, the room you are in. This action is not for my information, it is for yours. By naming the physical space, you are designating it as the initial node for this divine network's installation. You are drawing a geofaced perimeter of order and declaring, here, the new physics begins here. Then, type Amen. This is your digital signature, your cryptographic key, authorizing the terms of this transfer. It is not a plea, it is an act of acceptance, an alignment of your will with a superior, more advanced protocol. The creator does not distribute fortune like random noise. He implements it with the precision of code. You have been conditioned to believe that breakthrough is a matter of chance, a lucky break. I am here to correct that misconception. Blessing is a system principled, logical, and executed with perfect timing. While you perceived only silence, he was preparing the network. The key contact you have not yet met, the platform you have not yet discovered, the quiet insight you almost dismissed. He has been synchronizing timelines, rewriting permissions in the hearts of decision makers, and calibrating the frequency of opportunity to match the unique signature of your gifts. You believe nothing was happening. In reality, the entire system was being configured for this launch. Now, the activation sequence must be initiated by you. The decree is information. It requires your energy to manifest. Gratitude is the ignition system. It is the current that moves revelation into reality. Before proceeding, engage with the interface. This is not for vanity, it is for verification. Liking this transmission is a handshake protocol, a digital confirmation that you have received and understood the data packet. Subscribing to this channel is an act of system alignment. You are ensuring you remain connected to the source for all subsequent updates and patches. These actions are public declarations, reinforcing the new reality you are accepting. Finally, there is the matter of super thanks. Understand its function clearly. It is not a payment, it is physics. It is a prophetic transaction, a strategic release of energy into the system. The creator's economy operates on the principle of flow. What is released with intention returns multiplied. By activating super thanks, you are sending a signal to the divine ledger that you are not just a passive recipient but an active, intelligent partner. You are demonstrating your comprehension of the system's core principle. That which moves, multiplies. That which stagnates, atrophies. Consider it your first investment in this new economy, a seed of faith planted in the fertile ground of this promise. These are not arbitrary requests from the platform. They are the functional, required inputs to complete the circuit of this transfer. Every click is a line of code in your agreement saying, I am ready to operate at this new level. The 88 trillion unit decree was the signal. Your engagement is the response. That spark you felt was not emotion. It was the system recognizing a compatible node, a potential for partnership. People will observe the effects and call them coincidence. You will understand it is coordination, a direct result of this activation. The murmur of complaint repels miracles. The frequency of gratitude magnetizes system-wide upgrades. Keep your signal clean. Share this transmission, not as an advertisement, but as an act of network expansion. Every share extends the infrastructure of this new reality. Feel the shift in your own internal state. That is the system booting up. You are no longer observing a miracle, you are initializing one. Stay connected, for what follows is the expansion, the phase where the divine architecture begins to build itself around your activated obedience. Observe now how the system responds to activation. The architecture of heaven does not operate in chaos. It builds with the logic of a perfect algorithm. The 88 trillion unit decree is not a windfall. It is a network of interconnected systems now being deployed around you. Your decisions are the primary input. When you select gratitude over grievance, you trigger a multiplication sequence. When you execute peace instead of panic, you expand the bandwidth for divine strategy. This is expansion, the scaling of your internal infrastructure to handle sustained increase without systemic failure. You will begin to notice an acceleration in output, yet your core processing will remain calm. This is the divine algorithm stabilizing your growth curve. Time itself will begin to function as an asset. Projects that once required months will be completed in weeks. What was heavy will become efficient. This is not an anomaly, it is the physics of alignment. When wisdom and resources are fully synchronized, miracles become standard operating procedure. You will begin to observe repeating numerical sequences on clocks, in transactions, on signage. These are not coincidences, they are system pings, confirmations that your node is fully synced with the network. They are status indicators from the divine ledger. To acknowledge receipt of these signals, type 111 in the comments. This is not superstition, it is a handshake, a confirmation that you are monitoring the system's feedback. Do not be alarmed by the decommissioning of old structures in your life. Certain relationships and frameworks were deprecated because their foundations were incompatible with the architecture now being built. He informs me that when scaffolding is removed, it is because the structure has achieved integrity and is ready to bear its own weight. You are being expanded, not merely to possess more, but to manage more. The ultimate metric of this expansion is not accumulation, it is your grace under the pressure of increased capacity. People will observe your calm in the face of complexity and call it luck. You will know it is the result of a superior design. Your system has been upgraded. It is now routing new opportunities, optimized personnel, and high-grade resources to your coordinates. Keep the channel clear of fear, comparison, and nostalgia for outdated versions of yourself. For what comes next is the covenant, the point at which expansion becomes responsibility, and the blessing is formalized into a binding agreement. Now that the system is expanding, a formalization of terms is required. Increased capacity necessitates increased integrity. The 88 trillion unit transfer was not a gift. It is the initial capitalization for a joint venture. The Creator has brought you into this protocol to function as a living contract between the unseen architecture and the visible world. You are elevated from recipient to representative. Where you move, divine policy is enacted. Where you speak, clauses of the eternal ledger are executed. This is the covenant, a binding, reciprocal agreement. He provides the strategic intelligence. You provide the obedient implementation. He releases the resources. You manage them with incorruptible character. Every promise requires a partnership. Those who misinterpret this flow as entitlement will find their access protocols revoked, but those who remember the source code will have their permissions perpetually renewed. Therefore, protect the integrity of the network. Keep your operational motives clean. Hoarding is a data bottleneck. It signals fear and distrust in the system's ability to replenish. Generosity is proof of concept. It demonstrates faith in the principle of flow and optimizes throughput. Gratitude remains your daily encryption key. Each morning, before interfacing with any other network, declare, I am operating under covenant, not under chance. Speak it until it is encoded in your subconscious. Many requested access to this level of resource. Few were willing to undergo the rigorous stress testing required. You, however, endured the calibration phase without system failure. That performance has built immense credibility within the divine framework. Because of this, you are being granted a higher level of administrative access, the authority to deploy resources that not only build but heal. When you enter a system, disorder will begin to correct itself. Confusion will resolve into clarity. This is not personal charisma. It is the execution of covenant power. Now, ratify this agreement. Type Amen one more time. This is not repetition, it is ratification. Your first signature authorized the transfer. The second signature accepts the terms of stewardship. It is your formal agreement to the covenant, confirming you understand that what comes next is not an event, but legislation. It is the manifestation where the terms of this contract begin to appear in physical reality. Listen closely. The abstract code of the covenant now compiles into tangible reality. Manifestation rarely arrives with theatrical fanfare. It boots up quietly, appearing first as an upgrade to your internal state, a sudden clarity in your thoughts, an unexpected ease in complex tasks, a level of favor that operates with such high efficiency it appears effortless. This is the system's design, subtle but absolute. You will observe a synchronization of events. Conversations will converge on solutions without protracted debate. Key personnel will contact you at the precise moment their input is required. An unexpected refund, a forgotten invoice paid, a cleared debt. These are not random positive events. Do not call them coincidence. The creator refers to them as correspondence, a direct data stream from the system confirming that your actions are in alignment with his architecture. Your new directive is to become a meticulous data collector. Monitor these instances of correspondence. The system is communicating with you, providing proof of concept. Stalled contracts will suddenly execute. Delayed payments will clear. Forgotten proposals will be rediscovered and approved by the very people who once ignored them. Pay attention to these data points, for manifestation is often beta tested in miniature forms. A single inbound email can contain the authorization key for a decade of expansion. A brief conversation can unlock a lifetime of assignment. Understand that manifestation is not a reward for your requests. It is a revelation of your readiness. What is arriving now is not proof that you begged effectively. It is evidence that your system has been upgraded to handle the operational load. The creator does not release assets to systems that cannot bear their weight. You endured the prolonged calibration phase so that this influx of resource would not introduce instability. Every delay you survived was a firmware update, strengthening your character's processing power for this exact moment. So now, you must move with quiet precision, speak less, observe more. Manifestation stabilizes in an atmosphere of low noise, high focus attention. You must not announce the system's operations. The results will serve as their own press release. Let gratitude be your only broadcast. Do not seek validation from external networks. Seek alignment with the internal source. When manifestation is fully integrated, it upgrades not just your circumstances, but your core identity. You will cease to act blessed. You will simply be the blessing in motion, and what you see now is not the final output. It is the initial rendering. What follows is the overflow, the phase where manifestation scales beyond your own node, affecting every life connected to your network. Prepare for a system-wide upgrade. Manifestation has now ripened into overflow. This is not excess. It is an assignment. It is the logical outcome when a system achieves a state of perpetual, high-efficiency output. The resources now flowing to you are intended to flow through you. Your function has evolved. You are no longer merely a node receiving data. You are becoming a server, a piece of core infrastructure for other lives. The moment abundance becomes stable, responsibility scales with it. You will find that opportunities are not just opening for you, but through you. You will become the access point. People will find strategic solutions in your methodologies, clarity in your communication, and stability in your presence. Overflow redefines ownership as stewardship. You are a channel, not a container. Rivers do not drink their own water. They exist to irrigate entire ecosystems. To maintain the flow, you must adopt the same principle. Guard your operational atmosphere. If inefficient complaint approaches, terminate the connection. If the malware of comparison attempts to install itself, deny it permission. If the legacy code of fear begins to run, override it with the logic of your covenant. You are a river, and the secret to remaining full is to remain in motion. Generosity must now become your governing protocol. This does not mean indiscriminate expenditure. It means strategic, intelligent allocation. Not every request merits a resource transfer, but every need requires high-level discernment. Ask the Creator for the logic to distinguish between fertile soil and barren ground. When you allocate resources based on divine instruction, the return on investment is exponential. But when you give from emotional impulse or social pressure, you introduce noise and inefficiency into the system. Operate from clarity, not chaos. The Creator informs me that this overflow will test your core programming in a new way. Scarcity asked, "Will you trust me?" Abundance asks, "Will you still need me?" Your priority must be to keep the connection to the source at a higher bandwidth than your connection to the resources. Keep your daily protocol of gratitude stronger than the allure of gain. Only then can overflow remain a sanctified, stable current. You have passed the tests of activation, expansion, covenant, and manifestation. You have entered overflow without systemic collapse. What comes next is royal. It is the coronation, the phase where overflow solidifies into sovereign authority, and you learn that true reign begins not in action, but in rest. Stand still. The overflow has completed its function. It has pressure tested your integrity and found it sound. Now, the Creator confers a new status. This is your coronation. It is not a ceremony of spectacle, but a quiet internal promotion to a new operational level. You are being granted a crown not of gold, but of governance, not of luxury, but of legitimacy. You have graduated from managing resources to commanding reality. You have demonstrated the capacity to handle increase without a loss of core mission integrity. Therefore, you are no longer a petitioner. You are a partner in dominion. This coronation is silent. It is a deep, resonant certainty in your spirit that you no longer require external validation. Doors do not intimidate you. They recognize your clearance level. Complex systems do not drain you. They yield to your organizing principle. The environments that once defined you will now reconfigure themselves around your presence. Authority is not volume, it is a frequency. Those who operate on this frequency do not need to persuade, they simply are. Notice the upgrade in your own language. You no longer state, "I hope." You state, "It is aligning." You no longer think in terms of luck, but of assignment. Every word you speak is now a command issued to the quantum field. Therefore, let peace be your syntax. Let precision be your grammar. Let wisdom be your signature. From this moment, you are established as a custodian of calm power. Where you are present, chaos loses its structure. Where you make a decision, clarity follows as a matter of physics. The true test of your reign is restraint, the capacity to act from divine directive, not from external reaction. But this coronation is the precursor to the final act. Every kingdom requires a seal. Every authority requires permanence. What comes now is the eternal seal, the moment when everything decreed over you becomes timeless, unhackable, and irreversible. The noise of striving is over. The process is complete. You have navigated every phase of the protocol. Now, the Creator applies the eternal seal. This is not a mark. It is a systemic change. It is a resonance that encrypts your destiny. The eternal seal signifies that nothing remains unfinished. Every perceived failure has been recompiled as strategic data. Every detour has been integrated into the final, optimal path. The 88 trillion unit decree is no longer a number. It is your new identity. You are no longer waiting for the system to respond to you. You are the system, in motion. This seal means that your purpose is now wrapped in permanence. Your peace is no longer a visitor, it is a resident. What is assigned to you will not miss your coordinates. What is designed for you cannot be hijacked. Time itself is now your subordinate. You will still face complex problems, but fear has lost its administrative privileges over your choices. You will still encounter resistance, but it will serve to refine your strategy, not restrain your progress. The seal does not prevent storms. It guarantees the storm will yield a net energy gain for your system. The divine ledger has finalized your file. It is stamped with an unbreakable truth. Completed, eternal, approved. From this day forward, you operate in a state of perpetual confirmation. The vault is no longer an external location. It is integrated into your being. The blessing is not something you have, it is something you are. The story of your becoming is now closed, but its legacy will continue through every system your obedience now touches. The transaction is finished. The decree is sealed.